It's 11th hour radio, and it's a little different this week, which is great. We like curveballs. Let's see. Hi, Libby.
Hi, Kristina.
It's so nice to see you.
It's very nice to be seen and heard today.
Great. How's your level? Is that loud enough?
Hubba. Maybe I could use a little more
bit.
Of
yeah, that's usually how it goes here. Let's see.
Is that myself? Oh, that's better.
That's better.
I think I'm here now.
Let's see. Is that you?
I think you just raised me a second ago.
I did.
That was better.
Okay. So that's good?
Yeah, I'm up to your level now.
Excellent. Okay. So Emily's not here today because she went to Prince Edward Island, which is where she goes for her family vacation every year. And so I just really want to thank you for coming in.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, we're going to have a fun conversation about it. I don't even know what we're going to talk about yet, but we'll make something up.
I've got a lot on my mind.
Awesome. Okay, just let me turn up this level.
Isn't that the
Let's see, did that help me?
Isn't that the old phone prank? Like, do you have Prince Edward in a can?
How does that go?
I think you call up a little country store and they have Prince Edward Island. I don't know if they're clams or something.
Oh.
And you say, do you have Prince Edward in a can? And they say, yes, we do. And the person says, well, you better let him out or something, rather. You don't know that story?
No, but for some reason I have this idea that maybe it's a can of tobacco.
Oh, maybe it is.
Is that possible? It's just that just dredged out of the back of my brain. Oh, one request. Can you close that window?
You don't want to hear babies screaming?
Just not quite that loud. It's always a little bit of a backdrop. Yeah, see, they just started screaming pretty seriously. It'll just come in the back window, which is fine. It's fine, No. Yeah, that's one of the liabilities of being on the porch.
So I've looked down there. I'm going to be thinking about babies.
Yeah, babies.
So how is your life going? How's your morning? And who is this Emily girl?
Yeah, who is this Emily? Have you ever heard the show?
No, I've not.
Well,
I've not heard the show.
So that's okay because there's all of your life ahead of you to hear the show, you know. And Emily is just a local gal who's really interesting and funny, another fellow artist. And we just made up this show about 4 years ago and started doing it without any concept particularly. So that's why we've managed to keep that format. That we don't have a plan per se when we do the show.
I was thinking it's kind of like a little bit like a dying art, the art of just unedited conversation. I was thinking like, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to go in there, and I'm so accustomed to, having a song polished or something to perform. Or, the way texts these days are like, you can just like put this little blip out there that's like refined and, bulleted.
That's right. You can keep changing it.
You can change it.
Yeah, until you like it.
Until you like it.
You don't
right.
send it until you're completely happy with it, and then you push send.
Or it's
right?
a picture, that you doctor of yourself, or you get the perfect angle or whatever it is. And there's so little like this where you just relate into the ethers, the vast ethers of just like what is.
I know. I really, really enjoy it. It's kind of therapeutic for me.
It's very therapeutic. It's vulnerable.
It is.
I feel very like, oh, what will I say?
Yeah.
Will I say the right thing?
I know. And I always get a little bit nervous when Emily's not here, but there's no reason for that.
Oh, no, you should be nervous. You have no idea what I could say.
But I don't call just anybody. I call people to help me out who I think can handle this. So it's you today.
It's very exciting.
Yes. Libby Kirkpatrick. What a beautiful name that is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but unless you're Scottish.
Yeah, that's okay. Stykos doesn't really roll off the tongue either.
Stykos is very angular.
It's very angular.
It's like...
And that's kind of why I changed my first name to a K, so it could to actually accentuate the whole angularity of the name.
You want to match it.
Yeah, I did.
Wait,
I felt like it was unbalanced the other way.
What was the other way?
CH.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway.
I've got a couple CHs in my life, and I think Kirkpatrick, really. It's my Chris and my Charlie, my husband and my son. So I'm making up for it with the 3 Ks at the end of my name.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. So you asked me how my week had been, or how my life was going, right?
What's going on behind those beautiful jewels there?
Oh, golly.
Do you guys know how gorgeous Kristina's eyes are? They're
gosh.
like pools, but they're not like, they're like, I don't know, they're gorgeous.
Well, thank you. It's funny, you can't see that in yourself. You just look in the mirror and you're kind of sizing up stuff that you typically size up about yourself, like what your hair is doing, or how the bags are under your eyes, or...
No. I'm seeing beauty here. I'm seeing cultured beauty.
Thank you so much. It has been very hectic, but I was trying to think there's that fine line between hectic and just really jam-packed, and I think I've been straddling the line fairly successfully, and the only reason that I'm successful is that I'm super, super organized. I could slip up by not getting enough sleep, so I'm trying to get at least, 6 isn't quite enough, so maybe 7 hours. And then I just have to get up, and every minute has to be organized because I have so many moving parts in my life right now. Mm-hmm. But I guess that's good.
Respect.
Yeah. But see, Fridays like this are about slowing down. Emily always starts to yawn over there. So I always accuse her of being bored with what we're talking about, and specifically bored with me, but that she says that's not true.
I've heard otherwise about yawns.
What have you heard about yawns?
I have experienced yawning when I wasn't tired, like repeatedly, as a kind of like depressurization, or like a sort of an act of self-regulating, I think, with oxygenating, and it's like you're running and you arrive and you get here and then you start to download what it is that you're doing here, and then I don't know, the oxygen mixes and
nice
alchemy.
Can you feel the slowdown we're having? We're bringing it
Are
down.
you feeling it?
Yeah,
You are?
I am.
I came here faster than I wanted to.
I know, you kind of rushed in right at the last minute.
I did. I found some coffee, and coffee's kind of this new, like, fun thing that I'm learning how to deal with.
Most people at your age don't call coffee a new fun thing.
Yeah.
But
you mean 27?
Yeah. I see. I didn't say our age because I do believe I'm a bit older than you. But
I don't know.
So what else is new?
Well,
I know I'm quite a bit older than you, but
my age,
yeah, we're ageless.
what
But
is
I am the oldster around here.
Okay.
It's funny how that crept up on me.
You might have a little more salt in there. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I was that, sort of that young thing. But I actually get more respect now just because I'm older. It's funny. I mean, I really do.
Ah.
I think just because I've been kicking around for a long time and doing a lot of stuff. So there's all this accumulated stuff that people can say, oh, look, she did that and that and that and that and that. And that's just because I've been around.
Well, I'm kind of a baby here, so I'll just ride on your tails today.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's see. I do make a list of stuff just kind of, in case my mind goes blank. I have things that I can refer to. So let's see.
Coffee, yawns.
Yeah. Well, tell me about your week and how, just like you can either tell me what kinds of things that you did, or you can tell me just how it felt to go through the week this week.
This week. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh. So many fun things have happened, Kristina.
Really fun stuff?
Yeah.
Like what? What's fun?
What is really fun was, first off, my husband, who has been towing the professional working line for our family for the last, 10 plus years, has not had work this summer. And it's so nice to get to know him in a different way. So there's that. I mean, this is the person that reflects me every day. And I chose one, I won't talk about it too much because he could be listening.
Yeah.
Are you listening, honey? Anyway, so that is pretty fun.
It's fun to sort of get to know better somebody that you already know really well. And what creates opportunities for that to happen. It's a little mysterious, because you can get to new levels with people, but you're not always in charge of how that happens or when it happens.
At all. I feel completely not in charge of that. In fact, I've been noting, like, this is really cool, life, how you're breathing me in this sort of way, and us, and yeah. So there's a lot to say about that. Plus our son, who is 10, is away at camp for the next 2.5 weeks. He'll be gone for 3 weeks total. So that's the first time that we've ever had all this open space.
That's awesome. And he's having fun. So it almost gives you permission to have fun. You know how much fun he's having at camp. Right? So it's tight. You can have camp while he's gone.
Yeah. And I was having fun until I got the pictures yesterday. Then I was like, why am I crying?
Pictures from camp.
Excuse me. Yeah. Yep. Pictures from camp.
Yeah.
Great pictures. Beautiful pictures. So.
That's funny because I had some Airbnb guests this week, and they had just dropped off their child at camp.
Which camp was that?
It was some kind of a Jewish-focused camp in Northfield,
okay.
like a survival. What did she call it? Like a Jewish survival camp, but it sounded great.
Wow.
Dropped her 12-year-old off, and she had her 1-year-old and her 3-year-old, and her traveling companion, who was an immigrant from Moscow.
Oh, wow.
Not Moscow, Vermont.
Right.
The actual real one. So,
Moscow.
Yeah. So I had some pretty interesting stories about old Moscow.
Wow.
But anyway, I don't want to...
Jewish survival camp.
Yeah, that sounds very, very...
indoctrinating. No.
Well...
Is that the word?
Unusual in that I haven't heard of it. We've heard of all the camps in our area, but I hadn't heard of that one.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting. This one is Quaker, which is really funny.
Is it Farm and Wilderness?
It is.
Yeah, my kids did a little bit at Farm and Wilderness.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have to go back to fun, because I really think we all need strategies for having fun. And if you had some other ideas, you said it was a fun week. So what else?
It's fun. Okay. So also this coffee thing is fun, because now we weren't coffee drinkers. And then I don't drink coffee guy was like, let's order some coffee beans and roast them ourselves, because I heard on this TED talk that that's the way to do it. So that's really fun, because being an air sign, I really like to just get up there into the ethers and sort of skate around. And so riding high and then staying regulated. It's that's a kind of
beautiful.
That's fun. I'm having fun doing that right now.
Yeah.
We're going to get onto the Appalachian Trail maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. Other fun. Family reunion 25 international came and went last week. That was fun. Nieces, nephews,
family.
70th, family.
Yeah.
Was there any other fun?
Yeah. Raspberries this week.
Raspberries for you?
Big time. Well, one of my gardening clients, I take care of their raspberries, and it's a huge patch. And so I was in there. I was weeding and mulching paths, and I had gotten an email the day before saying, please pick and take as much as you want. So I actually was working and eating pretty much all day. And I got this huge. Can you have an overdose of raspberries? Do I look different?
No. I'm
Okay.
sure it'd be like a cleansing experience. At best.
It just felt so good to be working and eating, and it was the fruits of my labor, literally. So, because I've taken care of that raspberry patch for a lot of years now, and this is a banner year. It's just better than I've ever, and I'm so happy because I did some new stuff last year. I took instead of cutting all the canes down, the dead ones that had fruited last fall, I let them overwinter, and that evidently helps nourish the plant.
Okay.
And I don't know, they look great.
Which limbs? Sorry, what fruit?
Those like in the fall, you see there's a lot of dead canes, and those are the canes.
Raspberry canes.
Yes.
Got it.
And so usually I cut them because they're dead, but there's a good reason to leave them on and cut them down in the spring.
Because they get on with the fruiting.
They do
they
something.
Keep on fruiting?
They magically somehow help nourish that plant.
Oh, it's like the elders, respecting the elders.
Yeah, they just all want to hang out together before it's a new season. They just want to go to sleep together, I think. That's nice.
That's a sweet thought.
I like to respect those things. Yeah.
But tell me, did your teeth or your mouth after a lot of raspberries, what happens, and doesn't that make your mouth kind of...
I like the way you do that. No, it didn't. No,
no puckering?
No. It was pretty much all I ate for most of the day. I didn't really forget my lunch, but I just wasn't inspired with any lunch ideas. So I came to work just with some water.
Did you harvest any leaves?
No.
Maybe it's not the time to harvest the leaves.
That is a good tea. I got to get back into drinking those healthy teas. They actually taste good. I don't know what my problem is. It's hard to be a coffee drinker and then also appreciate herbal concoctions because you just somehow they're on different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know what you mean.
There's a way to balance and do them both, but you sort of feel like coffee's destroying everything in a way. It's not. I think it's more that's an idea that I have. I don't think coffee destroys it.
I think it's a great catalyst for brain activity, and not maybe so great for the vehicle that the brain rides in.
Perhaps, but I think also people's constitutions are different. So some people can handle coffee better than other people, and it runs through the system pretty fast, which is good. Because you can figure it'll be gone after a while, and then you can get back into the teas.
Then you can go alkalize with your raspberry leaf and nettle tea.
That's right, and you can meditate. And I did want to talk about meditation.
Okay, you have to remind me to ask you questions too, because being a songwriter, And being used to having people interview me over here, I can get pretty self-centered. So be sure to like wink if it's time for me to ask you a question. I don't want to like make this lopsided because I know you're.
Well, it's fair. I mean, even if I ask you a question, we'll do a back and forth, and I'll find a way to talk about myself because I am also a singer-songwriter. So we have that in common. Let me just watch the time because every 20 minutes I play a track of music, and let's see, it's 11:20.
Oh.
So I'm going to play the first track of music.
Excellent.
Which is one of your songs.
Oh.
What I did, I had to do this quick and dirty. I just took that album that you gave me a couple weeks ago. I loaded it onto my computer, and then I synced it up with my iPad, and then I just took the top 3 songs. So I hope that's okay.
I have no idea what album I gave you.
Okay,
it's
well,
okay.
this will be a surprise to you. So let me just see if I can cue it up. This is always, for some reason, it's always a problem for me. Okay, to cue things up. Let's try it. Here's Libby Kirkpatrick, Good Night, Venus.
Good night, Venus. It's hard to see you go. One more night comes between us, and my desire grows stronger for the love I long for. From every beating heart, that's who I sing this song for. We cannot stand apart. Good night, Venus. Sweet dreams till the morning light. Don't let the darkness between us obscure our strong ties. We need your urgent message of how to love and be loved. We hear you despite our ruckus. Send us the goddess from above. We're on our way up to the higher mind. Wish us good luck. It takes a long, long time. While Venus is away, Mars shines seductively, blood red in the northwestern sky. I hear the war gods. Go down now, Mars, and leave us. We've bled for too long. We cannot rise to freedom with your bloody sword drawn. We're on our way up to the higher mind. Wish us good luck. It takes a long, long time. Whirling in the Milky Way, planet Earth strives for her say, while her people congregate to try to control her fate. We are the fools that think planet Earth is on the brink just because we can't stand the very stink that we've created. Well, I think it's crazy, separatist to say, let's heal the Earth today like she's some victim. We're no more separate from this earth than we are from each other. So take a stranger as a brother and let's rejoin this mothership. We're on our way up to the higher mind. Wish us good luck. We get confused sometimes. I think I know it all. Then I find I'm blind. Good night, Venus. Good night, Venus. Good night. Good night, Venus.
All right, that was my guest, Libby Kirkpatrick. I love that. Now I want to say that all the time. Kirkpatrick. It's fun. Speaking of fun,
It packs some K's in there.
packs a K.
Pack.
One of my nicknames has been Special K.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Special K.
Yeah, I think I sort of a spoof on the cereal Special K. I don't even know if that still exists. And also because I wrote a jig or something called Special K that I called Special K, and then people called me Special K.
Is that one that you could just whip off the tongue right now?
What?
A jig of special. Is this like a rap, like a Special K rap?
Yeah, it didn't have words. It was just a musical jig. It was literally a jig. It was when I was into playing Celtic music.
Oh, okay.
So I was writing jigs.
It's not a reel, it's a jig.
Yeah, it's
Let's
a jig.
get
So it's
this
just
right.
all that means it's in 3. So if you're a flat picker, it's down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down with your flat pick. Okay. That's really important. It's not down, up, down, up.
Is this your heritage music? Here,
So half.
Okay.
Half. My mother's English and Scottish, so I do have some of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's another place where we have similarity.
Yeah, we do. The Scots. My uncle lived in not Edinburgh. He lived in Glasgow.
Glasgow. And Edinburgh. Have you been to Edinburgh?
Yes.
Did you go to the Fringe Fest?
The Fringe. No, but I like saying that.
I do too.
Did you play there? You're so famous. You've been playing all over probably the world. Probably.
I did not play at the Fringe Fest, no, but I went twice and I saw what it was like to play there, and I thought, when I grow up, I'm going to play there. But
Well, did you grow up?
No.
Okay, good, because you can still play there. So let's talk about music, since we're both musicians. What the heck? I did write down some ideas of music things that we could talk about.
Okay.
All right, let me look down my list of questions and see what I think is interesting.
Let me prepare all my interesting answers here.
Yeah, let's call up all those anecdotes. Have you had any bad experiences on stage? Let's start with that one. Come on, you got some classic moments, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
Okay, let's see. Bad moments on stage. Well, I think probably the most panicky, probably the worst thing that happens on stage is all through the lens of like the panic of, oh my God, is this smooth? Like, you know, how, for example, you break a string, you can kind of, manage that. I panic for that, but it's not really a big deal.
Yeah.
But the freaky thing that's been happening lately is when my voice breaks. And I don't know if it's like this thing of late that's been happening because, I don't know if it's because of Hashimoto's hypothyroidism. I've been told, sorry, we're going to health now, but I've been told there's a possibility of breaking down the vocal cords because of the breakdown of the thyroid, and there's like a actual lack of ability to vibrate smoothly.
Oh, that would be me.
Okay, hello.
That's cool. That started for me when I was about 23. I first started noticing my voice breaking. I mean, it was, compared to what it is now, it was minuscule, but I noticed it and it was freaking me out because I was just on this trajectory of being, a musician and a singer. And so I just got completely freaked out by it and was sort of internally praying that it wouldn't prohibit my career. And, it hasn't really, because I've just worked around it. But
you kept singing.
Well, yeah. And when I couldn't sing, I talked. And when I couldn't talk, I croaked. Like now.
And people love that.
Yeah. Well, I think of Diane Rehm on New Hampshire Public Radio.
God, her voice is amazing.
Yeah. Well, she's got some kind of similar thing going on. So I just think, okay, Diane, if you can do it. And then, Bob Dylan couldn't sing.
Tom Waits tried to get that. I mean, who knows if it's like his authentic voice, but
yeah, so
people go for that.
Yeah, I'll just go down as having a really weird voice. That's fine.
I love your voice.
Thanks.
You have a great voice.
Thanks. I figure a voice actually has it has a stream of consciousness in it. So whatever is coming through a voice, no matter how poorly tuned up the vehicle is or how broken the technical vehicle is, there's still that spirit of the voice, and that's got to come through.
It's a real experience of the manifestation of life force into physical form for us to hear, like with our own senses. It can't lie.
It's so incredible.
It's incredible.
I think the voice is incredible. Having a voice, not having a voice, that's my core issue, I think.
Wow, I just walked right into that one, didn't I?
Yeah, you sure did. Uh-huh. Yeah, so it's fascinating. I mean, you can sort of let things like this destroy your life, or you can take them up as a problem to wrestle with, to build your character, and to hopefully come to a more, compassionate place towards yourself and other people. Because when something is broken and you have to work with it broken, you just, you're continually humbled, and you just look around and you see all the situations in the world where people are brought to their knees, and, or people had great gifts and then their gifts were taken away, or any kind of tragedy like that. And
that is life. That is life.
That is
being
it.
Born into dualism.
Exactly. That's in a nutshell. Everybody has something like that they have to deal with in their life. And it's just funny when it's something that's so out front, like when a singer has a vocal problem. It's not something that you can sort of skirt around the side of it.
You paid for the ticket.
I know. Like,
you must watch humility in action.
Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, there's other things that you can hide better.
I have a girlfriend, I shouldn't say her name because this is actually kind of slightly grotesque, but she says that when she performs, and she is the daughter of two very renowned songwriters, and everyone is listening to her like, what's she going to bring? And she's a great singer and a wonderful person. I almost wore this T-shirt that reminds me of her. But she says that being on stage and singing and having moments of humility and just, it's like the effect of coffee in public. How do I say that politely in radio, Kristina? I'm sorry. It's Libby Kirkpatrick coming through on some pretty grotesque. Anyway, it's like,
oh, I know what you mean.
The act.
I got it.
Sorry.
That's okay. You're not, as long as you don't say one of the 7 swear words, you're pretty good. Pretty good to go.
Right there in public, everybody watching, and it was sort of like when that started happening to me with my voice cracking. It was small. It was a small place because I had made the transition from performing a lot more in bigger places to little town in Vermont where I would go to the Skunk Hollow Tavern. It would be open mic, and I was it wasn't like I was risking a lot or anything, except when it happened. And it kept happening. I felt like it was so awkward because it was not just the act of the voice cracking. It was the effect of, what am I, what do people think, or what's happening to my body? How
do you manage your reaction in the moment because you're noticing it, but you're trying to sing a song?
And I hated singing songs that I had written already. I only wanted to do something fresh because otherwise it felt like I was being stale. And so it was like having a midlife crisis right there in front of everybody watching. And they were having their drinks. They weren't having the same experience as me, but it was like broadcasting humility.
Yeah. Yeah. People sometimes don't know all the things that go on inside performers' heads, but
they probably feel it.
Yeah. One of my bad experiences that often recurred on stage was plugging in my instrument, because I have tended to play with some pretty loud people. So plugging in, starting the song, and I cannot hear myself at all. So that's very interesting when you're up there and the song's already going and you can't stop it, and you strum the guitar and you hear absolutely nothing. So then it's like, okay, what strategy do I have for continuing to play when I cannot hear what I'm playing?
That's like dancing with a ghost.
It's very funny.
Wow.
Very funny. And that happens as an acoustic guitar player, because if you're playing an acoustic guitar in loud bands with drums and bass, you're the one that's going to get drowned out.
You can't turn it up.
And then sometimes you're playing with another acoustic guitar player who's loud. And so do you play louder to try to, so you can hear yourself when he's loud already? No, it's just impossible.
I think you have to be really good at playing playing? I don't know. Is it what? How did you do it? What did you do?
Well, I think I just struggled through.
It's like
just relied on muscle memory.
Memory.
But it is hard because you rely on hearing that you're playing something correctly. You know how guitars are. You can have string noise or buzz or something, and if you're not hearing it, you don't even know. But of course, if it's a rock band, oh, who cares? So you look like you're having fun. Basically, that's it. Just
my God,
look like
so
you're
awkward.
having a good time.
Or just have a good time. But I really appreciate like the differentiation you have to make of senses. Like instead of hearing, you have to use the muscle memory, like you said, like the proprioceptive act of chunky or whatever your rhythm is, and looking at your fingers.
Tactile.
And then you have to pretend you're having fun
yes,
while you're...
and then what's also going through your head with all these other things is you're saying to yourself, why am I in this band? So, and then, you know why you're in the band, because it's probably 60-40 fun. Once it starts to tip 60-40 the other way, then those questions get more and more painful.
So do you think your bandmates are out there listening right now?
Well, I've had a bunch of bands, so I figured that people wouldn't know.
They wouldn't know.
I mean, just if people could think, what's the loudest band she's been in? They might be able to figure it out. But that was my choice to be with. The reason that I was in a band with somebody loud is because I didn't want to be in the front. I wanted to be a little bit behind the front, so I needed somebody loud who wanted to be the showboat.
Yeah.
That to me was more comfortable. And partly this is because my voice has been failing, and so I couldn't be up in front singing. I felt like I wasn't, up to it, but I was trying to work my way back into it, and so it was an ideal situation from that point of view to have somebody else be in the spotlight, and I could sort of just quietly work on but quietly is the key word here.
How quiet can you be on stage, right?
I know. It's an odd set of contradictions, really.
Okay, so when did you go from being the spotlight to giving up the spotlight?
Well, I was in the spotlight more before I had kids. And then after I had kids, that took a chunk of 20 years. And, I was still working on my music, but not so much as, it takes a certain kind of mental focus to be a singer-songwriter in the spotlight. It's very self-centered, and I think it's hard. I know your career changed when you very consciously decided now is the time I can have a child, right?
I kind of looked at my wrist where my watch should have been and noticed that I had a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
Time. And right at that time, I noticed, I noticed my dancer guy over there.
Your dancer guy over there.
I did, yeah. I noticed. I was like, he looks pretty good. Because he would dance like an animal, and then he would walk down the street like a normal guy. He could wear a collar. I was like, okay, this is good. This guy.
This guy?
This guy.
This guy?
Yeah.
Which guy?
My guy.
Your guy.
My guy.
Okay, your guy. We're talking about your guy.
I'm kind of into a my guy phase right now, so.
That's beautiful. It's because you're on vacation with your guy.
Yeah.
Home. Yeah. What do they call staycation? Stay vacay.
Well, yeah, because we're only going to, hobble down the long trail.
A staycay.
Or the AT. Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about? Sorry.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. We go off on track.
I want to just reflect not only your beautiful eyes, but I just want to give you a lot of love right now because this is such a special occasion. I never come up to Royalton. I've never crossed that bridge.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful day, and I'm just feeling like I'm in this new, beautiful territory, and I'm just appreciating you, Kristina Stykos. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Libby. Thank you so much for coming up from the South. The deep South.
And it feels like such a nice thing to interface with you. And I worked hard to get my time with you.
Yes.
I worked hard, and now you're reciprocating, and this is just, it feels really rich.
That's right. We have a destiny together.
Here we are.
It's unfolding.
Who knows?
Yes. And that's amazing that you can be in Vermont in the same little state And yet it's so hard to kind of find those ways to bring your lives together. You know, it takes some thought and heart. You hear the train?
I do.
This happens every week. We get to sit and listen to the train, and sometimes it actually stops the show because it's so cool. You're feeling it, I can tell.
That is the sound. I mean, this moment that we're having here, and then my fully appreciating you, and then elsewhere, something exciting and beautiful sounding happening. That's like, this is my life. Like, not only am I enjoying the heck out of this moment, but I could be on that train going like through the, not driving and seeing that, who knows where I'm going. Oh my God.
If Emily could only hear you now, because she makes so much fun of me because I love that train experience every week, that whole upliftment that it gives me, and it unleashes a kind of a fantasy for me just for that short period that it runs through town. And I think, man, that's cheap thrills.
That guy knows, or gal knows what she's doing when she's pulling that horn.
Yeah, that's a powerful catalyst for a lot of things.
It's like drawing a rift through the sky with your finger or something. Can't even, how can you? I don't know.
There's sounds like that. Like, think about it. Think about how the tolling of the bell, like a real old-fashioned bell across a valley, when they used to use those huge, huge bells, and they would toll.
The coupling of that sound too. Sorry, we're going to go back to the bell, but the baby crying at the same time too. That draws me right back to here. What, like the Liberty Bell, or what bell are you thinking?
Well, I always get this image in my head of a Swiss village and a church, like a lone church on the hillside, and that bell would be an announcement for either things that were tragic or things that were so beautiful and that didn't happen very frequently. And I think that sound of the bell lives in us as a kind of a spiritual thing. I think it's a very archetypal sound.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed.
There was yeah.
My mind goes in so many directions from there.
Yeah, me too.
I'll just put a little shout out to Tony Furtado, a great banjo player who put an album out maybe a year or two ago now called The Bell. Beautiful album.
Ooh, I'll have to check that out.
It's really good. It just shocked me because I was around Tony during our 20s and 30s a lot, and he's a great banjo player. He's a great performer, but he got into this really soft phase of his children, and he put out an album called The Bell. When he put it in my hands, he had this look in his eye, and when nobody tells you when you're head into life, like around the time that you have children, your parents are going to start to get sick and die, and so there he was in that phase. In this album, The Bell, thinking of like other the Bell. It's a great album.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, there's certain sounds like that are just singular, like the sound of a crow. This morning, I heard the sound of a crow, and it pierces through whatever's going on, and it has a message. And this morning, it was kind of a wistful message. I think it was about fall coming. Mm-hmm. But it takes you back on a timeline. It kind of cuts through the time dimension, It'll zip you to another place. Bird calls are amazing. Certain bird calls that connect with us, yeah. Well,
I thought crows up here, they happen... Sorry, do you have to play another song?
Yeah, but finish your sentence.
Okay, I would say that I thought that birds up here, crows, sang all through the summer. And it's a strange thing being from Philadelphia area, because I only hear them like in the fall. As the fall begins, it's not that they... Anyway, I'm surprised to hear you say that it reminds you of fall, because it sounds like fall to me all summer long here.
Oh.
And that's the end of that.
That's cool. No, I love that. I love to talk about birds, really, birds. But I like to talk about birds on a deeper level than just like, oh, I saw a ruby-throated sparrow. Yeah, I'm just not into that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the next track of music is called Vaulted Heart. And hopefully it's queued up to the beginning. If it's not, I'm going to stop and I'm going to get it right. Here we go. Libby Kirkpatrick.
got in my truck and I drove away. Barely a tear fell. I'm so brave all by myself. Back to my folks' house again. Now it's so hard for me to stay. I got to make my own rules. And I said I'd make my way, but who is this lonely fool? That's me. I'm so afraid to start, to open her vaulted heart, because she might not stop again. I can't break down now that I'm gone. Got nothing to break my fall with my own backbone. I'm so glad the leaves fell. The leaves, the naked tree standing tall, cold and black like the high wall I built around my heart. Indian summer come around, is bringing my metaphor crashing down, and it's just one whiff for this warmer sound that breaks my heart open wide. I'm so afraid to start, to open this vaulted heart, because I might not stop again. I can't break down now that I'm cold. Got to find the strength I need to grow. Out in the dark, I wanna think of you, but in the dark, I don't know who is who. All I can tell is I'm lost and you must be too. And what I wouldn't give to be in another shoes. But now I know I'm gonna find my way. There's really only one for me anyway. It's gonna be a while till I can see, at least till my day comes. I'm so afraid to start, to open this vaulted heart, because I might not stop again. I can't break out now that I'm alone. I'm brave enough to finally be all my own. That one would it.
Thanks, Libby. That was great. This is so much fun.
You're
so much
welcome.
fun. Isn't it fun to like play music and then have the person actually hear? I love it.
Fun, fun, fun.
Yep. So, there are just a million directions we could go in. You know, we could talk about dreams, we could talk about lawnmowers, we could talk about weeding, we could talk about what I did this week. You know, what are you interested in?
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
Right now I'm really I'm just obsessed with craniosacral therapy.
Ooh.
Self-regulation. In fact, I'm thinking about everybody who is listening right now and wondering, like, how are they doing? What are they doing? Why are they inside?
I read that article. That
Which one?
you posted a link to an article about self-regulation,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I went and read it because I think that was a very important concept.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's the first time I've heard anybody sort of eloquently, sort of science-y and therapist-y, right and left brain-y talk about the importance of self-regulation.
Well, that would segue nicely into our Personal Growth Friday segment.
Oh, do tell.
Well, we just do it when we have something to talk about. We say, well, it's time for Personal Growth Friday. And then we, kind of talk about something that is Well, what makes it different? We don't talk about lawnmowers and stuff during that segment.
You were wanting to talk about lawnmowers.
Well, I kind of
today.
did. I don't really. They're just funny. They just make me laugh, kind of, especially when they break. It's just fun. It's like a tragic comedy. So I don't want to really talk about it. But I would like to talk about dreaming.
Okay.
I mean, that can tie into self-regulation, can it?
Yes, I think people can use dreams to help them, fantasy, dream, memory, to, bring into a moment that's difficult to help them stay self-regulated.
And I think that having a dream of balance and health and love. Let's not forget love. Let's not poo-poo it.
I certainly couldn't.
Let's bring it in here. Let's call it in. Let's call in some love, and let's dream about love. Love that fills you so that, it could fill a lot of that empty space inside. You need a little air in there just to
keep it going.
Well, what would happen if we were all filled up with love? That would really be dangerous.
You might pop.
Yeah.
I feel like that sometimes.
Like you're going to pop with love? Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
How do you feel love? What does it feel like?
Well, I was feeling it not long ago. Like this moment is just cool. It's a beautiful day. It's the height of summer. I don't know if it's love, though. Who knows? If it's gratitude or if it's, it's like the Eskimo word for snow. There's a lot.
Yeah. So it's a kind of love. It's a kind of love it's a moment where you actually appreciate being alive and you're not thinking of the bad things.
Yeah.
We can get into a headspace where we think about the bad things too much. I am guilty of that, and I am trying to self-regulate in that area, actually.
How do you do that?
I practice. I've started to listen to a little bit of music that gets me to feel my feelings a little bit. And I don't overdo that.
So a little acknowledgement of the difficulty before you move on? Or is it sad music or happy music? Or
I think it's got to be sad. I think that's where there's you can get stuck there. So if you get stuck with sadness that's clogging up the works, you got to move it.
Yeah.
You got to get it moving. Yep. You got to feel a little bit of it in doses. I can only take doses because my life has to stay very organized. I have to stay on track. I can't indulge in a whole lot of feeling stuff.
Right. So you get empathized with by another body of some music, helps you sort of acknowledge how you're feeling, and then you segue, or?
Then I just try to just walk into my next moment a little more open-hearted. And I figure that the more that my heart can open, the more I can attract the kinds of things that I want in my life, because it is a magnetic thing.
It is.
Yes. And so I just work.
Attracts like.
Yeah. I just really slowly trying to crank that door open a little more than a crack. It's been kind of cracked open, the door of my heart, and I'm trying to just...
Do you use dreams to get you there, or?
All kinds of dreams, yes. I have to. I'm a dream generator.
So you're not sleep dreams, but like the dreams, I'm dreaming about the possibility of a day without.
Yeah, waking dreaming and sleeping dreaming sometimes comes along with that. I've been having really incredible dreams lately.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear one if you have one. I notice you're managing the time.
Well, I just have to at the end of the show. I have to just not just keep talking past 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. She's good at this, people. Are you guys aware of how much work it takes to do that? Okay, so anyway, Self-Care Friday, dreaming. Yeah, this is good. This is good fodder, I think, because I think we have to work our way from a place of a lot of us could get stuck in despair with things as they are in the world today. And not to take away from that, because that's valid, to spend time listening to a good sad song. That's really super valid.
Yeah.
But then moving out into the next, phase of, like you say, opening the cracking open of the heart a little bit, and then moving out into the world into an active phase, or.
Yeah. So that that might mean that you're not judging yourself as much. You're practicing these tiny acts of self-appreciation and Or you just slow down a little bit and just breathe, or sit in the back porch and just let something be beautiful in front of your eyes. Just let it be there and don't be thinking about the next thing. Or, some people meditate. I'm not a very good meditator. I think I've told you about that. But I think evolution and spiritual evolution is so much more mysterious than all that. It's not just about, sitting down to meditate. It's really about how you meet your life and how much compassion and patience and kindness you can bring to bear on any situation. So the practice that I'm talking about of just cranking open the heart a little bit in some way is a step, one of those steps. But again, it's like a practice. You do it every day. Did I crank it open a little bit? It's kind of like the windows are all rusty.
Yeah, and you got to open them. You got to find some WD-40 or something. No, something less environmentally caustic.
Oil.
Yeah.
Good old-fashioned, oil. There's vegetable oil. That can be nice.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
There's coconut oil.
Okay,
That's a
cool.
popular lubricant.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need lubricants. We do.
Love lubricants.
Yep.
Ways to make the heart open. Yeah, I think dreams can be really key there, because even if you're really sitting on top, but below the world, not on top of the world, but if you're really in the dark doo-doo, cultivating that little bit of something that has to do with where you want to go or where you want to be is
and it
key.
It can be so small. It can be the smallest gesture. It's just basically turning the tide on a dime, because those small things add up.
Like my dog at the park or something, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, or just, taking a moment for yourself to sit at the kitchen table with the cup of coffee.
With the beauty, letting the beauty be.
And just watch the bird and give yourself a break. Like, stop yelling at yourself inside your head just for a minute. Say it's okay to just let the gas, the foot off the throttle for a second, and just feel peaceful and safe. My big issue is I don't feel safe in the world.
Yeah, that's a big subject.
But little acts of trying to create internal safety are helpful to the larger goal at hand, I'd say. And we do have to wrap up pretty soon. We have to say, I'm sorry to cut you off, because we could go on for 2 hours. But anyway, you've been listening to 11th Hour Radio with co-hosts Kristina Stykos. I'm one of your regular co-hosts, and today I have special guest Libby Kirkpatrick, who came here. And we're going to just thank our sponsors quickly: the Tunbridge Grease Collective, the Mountain Folk Concert Series, and Howvale Farm.
All right.
We're actually going to go out on a track of music from Libby. Do you have any last words?
More gratitude and appreciation.
All right. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure. My great pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Here we go.
Wake me up, take me in your arms. In this dream, the world is so lonely. My brothers, they hardly know me now. My father, alone in his head. I need a big bed where my family sleeps together, not 'cause of sorrows, 'cause I wanna change the dream. I don't mind to feel sad. If I know that I'll feel better, wake me up and take me in your arms. Wake me up. I am a child, lifted from home. Baby girl has never forgotten what hope there is in a hopeless world, and everything can seem awful scary.